Hi, this is Rachel from the Dotting Center. Usually we use our dotting tools to apply brilliant, colorful, painted dots to create our art. They come in a variety of sizes to create perfectly shaped dots, and oh my goodness, is it addicting. Everything becomes dottable and nothing is safe from dots. In this project, we'll be using our dotting tools in a completely different way. Rather than adding dots to things, we'll be adding holes to things. It's a new squishy, squelchy, satisfying way to play with our tools and air dry clay. It's great for artists who love a good tactile, touchy-feely kind of art project. Today I'll show you how to make these lacy looking ornaments using your own favorite dotting tools and air dry clay. We'll go through step by step how to roll out, cut, and squish holes through clay. Then we'll play around with various iridescent pearl paints and glitters to finish. This is an easy, satisfying, quick project that I know you'll love. So get your tools and your clay and get ready to have some squishy, squelchy fun. Let's make some lacy Christmas ornaments with air dry clay. So this is the air dry clay that we'll be using. It's Das. It comes in white, terracotta, and gray. I'm going to be using white for this project. Now roll out your clay to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. Use a cookie cutter of your choosing to cut out the shape, and then let's get right into it. Grab your dotting tools and start applying holes. So the tips of your tools are all different sizes and they have a nice beveled edge. So you just stick it into the clay, kind of wiggle it around on the surface so that it goes all the way through. Or, if you just want to have little divots, you don't have to go all the way through. Now here I used a stylus tool and you'll see that it doesn't have a beveled edge. So when you pull it out, it pulls some clay out with it. So I found dotting tools just to be easier. Okay, so now this is super fun. So we're getting the largest size and we're gonna stick it right in the center. So satisfying. And then you just kind of wiggle it, get all the clay to push out to the sides, and then pop it right out. Now we'll use a smaller size, and the great thing about snowflakes is they are already just perfectly symmetrical and segmented, so it's easy to see where you can set your next hole. Use that same tool to go into the center and just smooth out that big hole. And now we're going to go around the outer edge of that big hole right in the center. Now here's a cool technique. You can use a small size tip and just kind of halfway stick the tip into the clay, and you can make a small hole, or you can stick it in all the way and get a larger sized hole using the same size tip. It's just so fun. There's so many different ways to do this. Here I used the stylus tool and didn't go all the way through, just kind of for a decorative effect, just made a little kind of divot in the clay. Now, once you have your ornament sufficiently holed, let's dry it overnight. What that's going to do is dry the top surface and the bottom is still going to be wet. So use a palette knife or something flat to pry up gently your ornament. And now you can see that the edges have a little bit of excess clay. The back needs to be smoothed out. So the next step is we're just going to clean this up. It's important to do this while the ornament is still wet. You don't want to have to sand this stuff. You really want to clean it up now rather than later. So the technique is you just add a little bit of water with your finger, spread it out with a palette knife, just kind of smooth out the surface. And then any excess clay around the edges, you just want to smooth that out with your fingers or a silicone tool, and then let that dry, let the bottom dry. What I also like to do is come in with a dotting tool and clean up those holes, open them up. Here's a good example of a butterfly that I did, and I went in with a stylus tool from the back, and you can see how that just kind of cleans up that ragged edge and makes it nice and smooth. And it's real easy to do. It takes just a few seconds just to get those holes opened up, and there. And then you want to flip that on its face and let the bottom dry for, I would give it a couple of days just to make sure that it's 100% dry before you go in with the paint. So here are some examples of the lacy ornaments that I made in this style. As you can see, I just had so much fun. It was a blast. Now here are two examples of Christmas trees. One is white and one is in the gray color, and you can see the different treatments that you can use. I think the fun of this is just, it's a quick and easy project, and these are very unique and handmade looking. They're not perfect, and I love that about these. So I just could have done this project all day long for weeks. Just designing with holes in clay is such a unique thing that I've never done, and it was truly enjoyable. Now, the second half of this video, we're going to concentrate on painting and finishing. One of the things I wanted to do was use iridescent opal pearl colors and just make a glittery finish, but choose colors that weren't crazy. You know, choose colors that could go with any color scheme that you have going on in your tree. For the first ornament, I used this pretty Martha Stewart gold pearl, and I wanted to show you the difference between what it looks like on white clay versus how it looks on gray. Obviously, when you paint these, you're going to want to squish the paint inside the holes. If you have any bubbles, you just pop them with a stylus tool and clean up the insides. But when it dries, it shrinks and it'll just kind of pop those bubbles naturally. Now look at this on gray clay. Same paint. When you paint it on a dark color, it has that cool iridescent look, and it comes out almost like a bronze copper. It's just always such a fun surprise to see the same paint do two completely different things based on the color underneath it. Now we're going to use interference red. Oh, I love this one. This has just got a pink color to it. You can kind of see it on camera, but it's really pretty. This one is a decoupage paint, and you can see in the ornament, same paint on the white, on the ornament in the background. I'm using it on the Christmas tree, and it comes out green, super green. Looks totally different, same paint. It's just so much fun. Now we're going to use glitter. I'm just using a thick glitter paint, and you can use paint. You don't have to use glue. And then just sprinkle some magical glitter right on top while it's still wet. And look at that. Isn't that interesting? Just has it's always fun to play with glitter. And then just tap off the excess. And don't worry, let that dry, and then we'll seal it with sealer in the end. Okay, here's another idea. Take some gloss varnish, and you know that super fine glitter that they use for nail polish? Take some of that, if you have some, and just kind of put it in the varnish and make your own mix. What this is going to do is give you this ultra transparent, high flow, almost glittery glaze that then you can paint over the top, and you can see how the glitter settles in some of the impressions in the clay. Just a cool, unique, and different way to use your gloss varnish. Now watch, we're going to do the same thing on the gray. Look what happens. It's totally different. So on the dark background, the glitter really shines. It has more of a sparkly quality. So cool, right? So then the final step, take this Rust-Oleum triple thick spray and give it a good once over, just a light spray. Let that dry and give it another coat. Always coat the back too, just to make it extra durable and shiny on both sides. And then just let that dry overnight. And now we're gonna come in and finish with some pretty ribbon. I chose this natural looking cord for most of them. I just wanted something very simple. So here's how you do it. You stick a loop through the back, pull the 2 excess strands through that loop, tie it tight, and then pull up the 2 or 3 inches and tie a little knot into both of those loose strands. Tie that, and then from that knot, make a bow on the top. So you really want to give yourself a good amount of cord so that you have enough cord to make a bow. And then that's how you finish it. Just super simple. I hope you loved this project, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments what you think about the air dry clay and if you like the whole squishy squelch of clay on your tools. Thanks again for watching. I wish you all a happy and safe holiday and all the best for the new year. And as always, you can meet me over at the Dotting Center for all your dot art needs.